little slow intro to start off with here, Corey.
So I gotta wait for the beat to drop, or what?
It's called The Dark Force. Probably very depictive of our guest.
Right.
Does it?
This is what you get.
Does it ever go? Or here we go. Today on the Farm4Fun show, we head back to the great state of Texas again. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Texas produces the most ag content creators, or at least the ones that we're interested in. Hit us up if you agree or disagree with that. 515-207-9640. There, we will meet up with a super farmer that's not afraid to voice his opinion to the interwebs. He's a multi-generation farmer, a new father, a pro at making fun of Rob Sharkey. He boasts over 42,000 followers on Instagram, 44,000 on Twitter, and almost 100,000 on TikTok. With one of the most generic handles of all ag social medias. Please welcome, from Booker, Texas, Mr. FarmerDan97.
Guys, thanks for having me on.
Opposed to FarmerDan96 and 95 and 94.
Yeah, I just want to say I had Farmer Dan 97 before anyone else. Everyone else past that, any Farmer Dan is copying me. That's all I got to say about that.
Sit back, man. You just ate the whole screen. You ate the whole screen with your face. There you go. There you go.
Okay. How about that?
I saw from like the nose down.
Just chill out. Very good. Very good.
Seriously, though, when someone says Farmer Dan, I'm like, which one? I know like four.
I swear we've got the original Farmer Dan that also dresses like Santa Claus up here locally. So he doesn't even have social media.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why is Dan and that a farmer has to be Farmer and Dan in their handle?
It just, I don't know. It came to me. It was whatever else. I mean, but like I just said, anybody else with Farmer Dan is copying me. I should put a trademark or something on that.
You should.
I like that. So what is the 97? Is it like significant?
That's the year I was born.
I knew it.
To make all you guys feel old.
That's not as bad as some of them, though, when they start with a 2.
Oh, yeah.
Like all the TikToks you see right now of them with the 2003 birth dates turning 21.
Oh.
Feel old, doesn't it?
That's terrible.
Look, I don't know if they did the math right. It's 2023. Doesn't that make them 23? Or doesn't that make them 20?
Not if it's 2000.
2003 to 23 is only 20 years. Or the fact that you have a birthday in this year, that makes you 21?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Sorry, too much math on a Farm4Fun show. My bad.
All right, it's Farmer Dan from Texas. Give us a little background about yourself.
Like you mentioned, 5th generational farmer here in the Panhandle. Got married a year and a half ago or so. We just had a son born in August.
Congrats.
It's a lot of fun. It's scary, but it's a lot of fun.
Did you name him Dan also?
So, what was that?
Did you name him Dan also?
No, his name is Grady. Maybe the next one will have Dan in his middle name or something. I think that's a good idea. But other than that, my dad and I farm land around here, and we grow winter wheat and sorghum, or as some people might know it as Milo. And yeah, that's living the dream, I guess.
No corn? Must be pretty dry then.
No, we're all dry land over here. Our typical average rainfall in the Panhandle is anywhere from, 18 to 22 inches of rain per year. Last year, we got 12 and a half inches of rain total, and that is the 3rd year in running that we've been way below our average. So, it's been tough. I mean, it's hard to raise a crop in the desert alone, but when you don't get your allotted amount of rain, it makes it much worse. But it is what it is. We have faith that the Lord will take care of us, and right now He is. We're getting some really wet snow right now. I think we've got predicted to 1 to 4 inches, and I'm hoping that there's more to come, just to kind of set our subsoil moisture back to normal.
Man, if you guys get 4 inches of snow, that's going to shut you down, isn't it?
Oh, man, schools are shut down. Bread and butter are gone from the grocery store. We're all shut down. I mean, I've been home all day except for one little meeting this morning. So, I mean, why not? I mean, we don't know what we're doing with snow.
Yeah. I remember I had a buddy down there a couple years ago. I think it was 2020 or whatever.
When they had the ice storm?
The ice and snow and all that. It was like 3 inches.
Yeah.
And they literally shut everything down. You couldn't even get McDonald's.
That's the first time.
No, snow kind of makes us Texans look like wimps. But I mean, since we're far enough up north in Texas, we get cold weather quite a bit, so it's a bit different than like Midwest Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first time that we got requested by the guest to take a word out of a show after we released it.
That's right.
Because Corey called you guys wussies.
With a P.
With a P.
Well, tell you what, I'll trade you. You come down for a summer where it's 100 degrees or more with humidity, and I'll come up there for your negative 10 degree weather for like a day or two. All y'all do is go to the bar and drink beer anyway. It's not like you have to work. So
that sounds nice, actually.
Isn't that what you do when it's 110 out?
No, technically I'm having to work since it's in the summertime.
Oh man.
So
it was negative 10 to 20 for like 3 or 4 days there before Christmas.
It was.
That was rough.
And 40-mile-an-hour winds.
Mm-hmm.
Yuck.
Yeah, it was not ideal, especially if you had livestock. That was no fun.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what's new? What's new with you on old social media? I haven't actually seen you pop up for a while.
I've kind of taken a little hiatus. I did take on some new land this year that I've kind of been showing the Instagram world what's going on, and so it's been kind of exciting on that to grow my own farm. But having a son and being married, social media just kind of does not matter. I mean, in the long scheme of things, I mean, it does help me, but in the grand scheme of things, I mean, who cares? And that's kind of where I've gotten to on social media. But I don't know, really just been busy kind of getting some grounded shape and praying for rain, dude. I mean, it's dry out here.
What do you say, 22 inches a year, roughly?
Yeah, somewhere, typically 18 to 22 inches per year.
What Tony said.
So that's probably like a half a week for y'all up there or something worth of rain.
That was like Corey's April last year.
Yeah, it was like my April, and then it was dry the rest of the year.
Agreed.
I think the year before that, we had less than 20 inches of rain. I think it was some places only got by with like 8 to 10, and that,
We've got a lot better water holding soils.
Yeah.
Yes.
They were crying the blues and 225 bushel corn.
Well, that's what always makes me mad. I'll get on Twitter and there's some corn farmer up in the I-States complaining about no rain, and then there they are posting their yield pictures or whatever, and it's doing 220 bushel corn. Yeah, you're full of it, dude. But I chose to live here. I chose to farm here, so it's no one's problem but my own, I guess.
I mean, you were born there probably, so you just chose to stay.
Yeah, Dad and I work pretty well together, and I mean, why not? Why not carry on the legacy? I think.
Yeah.
There you said it, the legacy.
I mean, that's what it is. If you ask me,
it is.
Not to take you off topic, but you have a resemblance to Goose in Maverick. But you were rocking the stash long before Maverick.
I was
Top Gun.
the stash before that movie came out.
Very good.
When we found out that we were going to have a son, I made my decision to grow a mustache, and my plan is to never shave it off. I want to be that dad that he's never seen me without a mustache except in pictures. And, that's just one thing. I grew up with a buddy, and his dad has always had a mustache as long as I can remember, and I wouldn't even recognize him if he took it off. So, I don't know. A little bit of mysterious.
I like it.
Mysteria to it, I guess.
My dad had a beard. I've seen him one time. He had to shave his beard.
My daughters have never seen me without facial hair.
Yeah.
Well,
really?
There you go. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Have I ever seen you?
You've always had. Yeah, you had a goat for a while, and then.
Yeah. No, I don't think you would have either.
So do you trim it to a certain length like every week, or what do you just let it go? Or
It just depends. Sometimes I'll go a month without shaving. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's kind of nice. Banking world's gotten a little bit more relaxed because it used to be clean shaven.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
But do you have New Balance, white New Balance shoes then too to go with the dad look and some cutoff
I have
shorts?
yet to do that. I've got some jorts in my cabinet, but I don't have any New Balance shoes yet. I was kind of thinking about doing something like that this summer when I start mowing the lawn.
There you go.
And start making the whole ordeal. I mean, why not?
I did that when I had my daughter. That was the first thing I had to buy was a pair of New Balances. It was like I don't know, what do you call that? Like a
Rite of passage?
Rite of passage,
yeah.
It is time.
Can't say that I ever did.
What?
No.
They're nice.
We're going to present Dave at National Farm Machinery Show his New Balance.
Yeah. No, I did not have any New Balance shoes.
You have to do an auction in them.
I hardly had tennis shoes, let alone, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
do you have tennis shoes? I don't know if I've ever seen you wear.
I do for working out. So, yeah.
So now that you're new to fatherhood, what's been the hardest part so far?
Well, I was not prepared for the first week when he was born because all he does is poop this black tar kind of poop. I was not prepared for that. I mean, it took me by surprise. But probably the hardest part is leaving the house. And I'm not trying to sound all goofy or whatever, but when I see my wife having a hard time with him and I've got to go to the field or something. That's the hardest part because I just feel guilty, but I have to do it. But that's probably the toughest. The happiest thing, is every morning I'll hold him while I'm drinking coffee and we just have some time together. And I think he's starting to think about crawling. And so I'm pretty excited for him to be mobile. That way he can kind of follow me around the house. But I don't know. I grew up in a family of 8 children and there were a lot of us, and I wouldn't say it was all fun, but it wasn't all bad times either. And, kids are a blessing in my opinion. And I hope that, someday he chooses either to farm with me or to go out on himself and be successful in whatever he does.
Did you guys test your wives for having kids? By that, I mean like
preg check?
I mean,
no, I can't say.
I was going to say it.
No, my preg checking. Like I bought my wife a dog when we were dating because I wanted to see how well she took care of something because I knew I wouldn't be good at taking care of kids. So I was like, all right, we gotta test this, and like she took care of the dog. I'm like, all right, should be a good mom. Like this will
We
work.
did do like a test marriage. We moved in together before we were engaged.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I have never.
that way.
What is it like to live
Just
in
wait,
sin?
this is the guy who's got Christian plastered across his bios everywhere. Yeah, we did the whole test run, and that's where we learned out very, very quickly what I'm good at and she's not, and what she's really good at and what I'm not. And there's a lot more things that she's really good at. But if I was to give advice, that we learned so much in that 1-year lease.
Do you think that anyone doesn't move in together anymore?
Oh yeah,
Still?
very very few, but there's still. I bet it's 2%.
2%.
Yeah, I'd agree. There are people that still don't do that. And I don't know, you mentioned Christian, and I'm not perfect, but I do try to share what I believe in, and I don't know. But it definitely, you do learn some things in the first month or two of marriage that I don't think you learn even if you do a lease. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so,
Dude, we bought our house.
Stakes are different then, yeah.
We bought our house, and we were going to get married the next week. And my parents are like, "Well, where's Ann going to live?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "Well, you're not married yet." And I'm like, "Well, she's going to move into the house we just bought together." And they're like, "Well, you're still not married yet. You have a week." I'm like, "We're good."
So you didn't, you almost made it to not.
Yeah, we didn't live together except for a week, which we were moving all our crap in before our wedding.
That seems like, God dang, I know, I understand it. I do understand why people wouldn't, but like it also seems like it would make the divorce rate go up so much higher. Like, wow, I didn't
Dan,
know what I was
did you
signing up for.
Did you live together before you were married?
no, we didn't.
You didn't?
Oh my God.
And that's not just as a hiatus for me. She lived 6 hours away from me. We did long distance dating for quite a while.
Oh my!
So
Well, how'd you meet?
just,
6 hours away. How'd you get connected?
I slid into her DMs, dude. I sent her an IG message, and here we are, married with a son. It works. If anyone's out there listening, do it. I'm telling you, either she'll call you a creep and block you, or she'll fall for you. I
You
mean,
miss
that's how it
100%
goes
of the
now.
shots you don't take.
That's right.
Exactly. I think Michael Scott said that, but I'm not sure.
Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky.
I know. It was a joke.
Oh,
but,
okay. I was like, who the hell's the Michaels?
They did. Yeah,
I got
Dave
you.
missed that
Office.
one. Yeah. I'm surprised.
I don't know.
you posted
Sportsman
that.
knew the Wayne Gretzky
Hell yeah.
analogy.
I like motivational quotes.
Oh, there you go. I find the crossover.
You got to find the cross.
That's got to be the first successful DM slide.
I would say
we've heard probably.
I would say we were just talking with Emma today about National Farm Machinery Show, and we've always had this little idea since another podcast had done it about trying to play matchmakers. take bachelor applications, take bachelorette applications.
Well, have you guys seen the new Bachelor Farmer style, where there's 4 different farmers and they're all trying to find wives?
No, where's this at?
It's out there now. I
Probably
saw commercials.
Acres TV.
Commercials for it. So, but they're 4 Midwest farmers and they're looking for wives, and they get to go through
Is it
all
Chris Soules?
No, I'll find it.
Sounds
From
like
a
a lot
jail
of
cell.
drama.
It does. We just figured we'd pay for their meal and have somebody follow them around with a camera or give them a GoPro and, something that like automatically shuts off at 10 o'clock because we don't need to know what happens after that. But see if we could create a farm for profit match made in heaven. But your comments about the mornings, I still love waking my girls up. Even if they don't like being woke up, I still love waking them up. And then, however, the older they get, it's like 30 minutes into the morning. You're like, just go away. Just give me a moment. I just need some quiet here. Yeah.
I heard something a week or two ago, and it was pretty deep, like starting to think about there's a last time for everything that you do. Like the last time, your kid will come get in bed with you.
Yeah, you sent that to me. Because I immediately thought of death.
Yeah.
And it's not because of death.
Yeah, but there's a last podcast that we'll do. There's a last, time. Yeah. And it's like, ooh, that's deep. When you're complaining about, damn it, I wish my kid wouldn't come in and, sleep in bed with us. It's like she won't do that anymore at some point.
Right.
And you'll kind of miss it.
Mm-hmm. Farmer Wants a Wife. That's what it's called.
Farmer Wants a Wife.
Yep.
What network?
Who's behind it?
City meets farm in search for true romance. Farmers from across the country embark on an adventure of a lifetime, hoping that they find their spouse. Women
are they real farmers if they can leave the farm
and film
a TV show?
And they're looking.
They don't have cattle. That's for
They're looking for women from the city. So the women from the big city have to go to the farm and see what it's like. And
so they're trying to stir the pot there. Then
yes, they are.
Yes, they're gonna have the girls in their stilettos.
What
out
about
there
just
walking
the
around
ag?
in
I see
cow.
plenty of ag ones around that are searching and on guys and girls.
I think it's Fox.
Yeah.
So we always like to take a break and thank our sponsor Busch Light, and Tanner has brought plenty of concoctions to mix with it. And today,
They almost all come from our listeners.
you brought us a little bit of maple syrup.
I don't know how we're gonna get this to mix.
The viscosity is wrong.
It seems like it could be.
You think so?
Kind of liquidy. I like this little. What are you going to do with this?
I don't know.
With this little guy.
It can't get your fingers in it.
All right.
Your big old hands there, Corey.
All right.
What is Farmer Dan's drink of choice?
I do enjoy me a Shiner Bock every now and then, just because it's a Texas beer. But, nothing other than that, really. I have some whiskey in the fridge or the freezer, but I don't know. I'm not, I don't know. I don't enjoy it as much as I do a good old Shiner.
Are you a sweet tea guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need a pound of sugar per gallon of tea, in my opinion, to make it go anywhere.
That's a lot
That
of
one will be Dave's.
sugar.
I don't know. That's probably not the right ratio because I don't measure it. But when me and my little brother get to making sweet tea at mom and dad's, she runs out of sugar pretty quick. It's just a lot of fun, Good sweet tea has to be sweet.
Yeah, we had gotten tea for Gavin Spore when we did his recording in person, and I didn't even think about it. I just got regular tea. There's no sweet tea, just regular tea. So we actually had to get him sugar packets so he could mix his own sweet tea out of that.
All right. Let's give this a try. I'm going to call it like Buddy the Elf beer or something because it's, he puts maple syrup on everything.
I think this one came with a name, but I gotta have to go find that message.
Oh. It's a little smoky.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't mind it.
So are you just putting maple syrup and water there.
Farmer's water. Kind of
Iowa
like
water, yeah, farmer's water.
Farmer Iowa's water. I like
see-
that. I've never heard that before.
Lang's last week down at the
Yeah, they had
Naked
sweatshirts.
Expo.
They did.
They had sweatshirt that had like the Busch Light logo, but it didn't say Busch Light. It said farmer's water.
been going across the internet feed. I've been popping
Those
up.
people on Facebook and Instagram with the awesome like shirts and sayings, they are on it, man.
Oh, yeah.
They got to make hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And they follow you around the internet. Like
Oh, yeah.
if you like stop like for half a second on their deal, they're like for the next 9 weeks, that's all you're gonna
So
see.
you don't
Yeah.
like this, Dave?
No.
That
You
was
like
good.
I
yeah.
like it. To be fair, I might have put like a whole shot of syrup in Dave's.
Okay.
I didn't mean to. It just came out a lot faster.
It's like-
and you like sweet stuff.
Brown sugar bad. Yeah.
Do you like syrup? normally?
I eat pancakes and waffles.
All right. See, I was just waiting for that to be something that you don't like eating.
Oh, I like it.
What's your favorite breakfast food there, Dan?
Probably pancakes, eggs, and bacon.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I got me a Blackstone griddle for Christmas, and
Dad
I
Club.
tell you what, those are the best things ever.
Don't make me jealous. You have one?
No, I want one.
I've held off. I feel like it's just I feel like it's a fad. So sell me on that.
Try steaks on it. Like I'm a pretty straightforward kind of guy with steaks.
Yep.
But I threw some ribeyes on it, and 2 or 3 minutes on each side, and then kind of let it sit for a little bit. I tell you what, it's the best ever. And then I put I think a pound of bacon on it over the whole thing, and we ate that. And I'm telling you, I did get it on sale. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have one.
So what's
But it was 100%.
the difference between that and a frying pan?
That's what I'm saying. What?
Bigger.
You
Oh,
can.
yeah.
It's bigger. I can cook all breakfast on one thing and call it good. It doesn't take but a few minutes, or I guess 30 minutes to get it all done. But I don't know. It is a fad. I would agree with you, but at the same time, dude, I'm telling you what, you're missing out. You're missing out.
I have seen the
do.
people making the smash burgers and all
Oh,
that,
yeah.
and putting the onion. Oh, that does look good. Okay, I'll give you that.
I do have a countertop griddle, and you just run out of space. You put 4 or 5
Yeah.
pancakes on there, and it's full. But every time I go to the lake and Seth brings his Blackstone, we almost cook every other meal on it.
So would you get rid of your grill or your smoker?
No, not really. But I've got it on my side of the garage. I open the door. I got my table prepped and ready to go. And I turn that thing on, season it a little bit, and let it sit for 10 minutes to warm up. And then you crack a dozen eggs on that thing, put some bacon on the other side, let the grease soak in, then pick that all up, and then put pancakes around it. I mean, you can make pancakes, a foot wide. And I tell you what, it is the best thing. I mean, Blackstone's not paying me. I wish they were, but I tell you what, to everyone out there, you need to get one. I think this one's a 36-inch griddle, and so it's good sized, and it was all there.
I need one for my mother-in-law because she comes over and cooks. We have the stove where it's got the griddle in the middle.
Sure.
And so it's got, 4 burners, but it's got the long griddle in the middle. And I was like, oh, let's buy that. That looks cool. We'll maybe use it. Well, she uses it all the time, but she uses it so much, she just leaves all the crap on there. And then,
seasoning.
well, yeah, like a half-inch thick of grease on there
That's
that's just still there.
Non-stick.
And she'll never clean the damn thing off. Well, it drives me nuts if somebody comes to our house and it's just full of old hash browns / whatever on there. So I take it off and wash it all the time. So I started taking the griddle out and putting the other burner back in. And now she keeps taking it out and she leaves it there every time. It just pisses me off that she leaves it there.
The problem I have, we have that too, but then the bacon grease splatters all over your stove.
And it goes all over.
the Blackstone. That's out of the garage. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's perfect. At some point, I'm probably going to have to pressure wash the concrete in the garage just from the bacon grease. But you open the door, some morning after you've cooked for the supper last night, it is the best smell in a garage that has ever been. And so it's great. I really do enjoy it. We cook everything on it.
Well, you have like a man cave garage. I've never been to your garage.
It's not really.
See, I just have vehicles in my garage. Like, I wonder what everybody.
I do store my smoker in there. I do have a TV.
Well, my pickup doesn't fit in my garage. That's the only reason.
Do you have a TV in your garage?
No, I don't yet, but I'm working on that.
Dude, the Amazon sticks, the Fire Sticks, and all the your Roku's and all that have made that kind of stuff so awesome.
Oh, right. Made
You
that a
can
lot
have that
easier.
anywhere.
Yeah.
We put cable throughout the house, when we built it. Like, oh, we want it in this room, want it in that room, and all that. Why? Why did we do that? We've never once used it. That was like an extra $600.
That was like phones, though. I even when I built my house, I didn't put any phone lines in. Anyway,
Yeah,
but I did put
I
internet
don't know
in
of
every.
anyone with a landline anymore, really, except older people.
Yeah.
I do like having the Ethernet connections because my wife can be hardwired into
Yep.
her home office. But other than that, no, we don't use the cable connections either. I do like the built-in tube that we put to fish cords for your entertainment center.
Oh, yeah.
That was handy.
That is nice.
What were you going to
So
say,
what
Dan?
started y'all's podcast?
We don't even remember. It's been so long ago.
Tanner and Dave started it in 2019. They had a conference that they put on called, it was the Ames Ag Summit, and then what was it?
And it went to Farm for Profit. Yeah.
And basically, that was one time a year, and they wanted to be able to give people expert opinions and advice every.
Well, that's why you have me
Everything.
on here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Yeah, we're about to ask you what's so great about Texas, so you'll be the expert here in a minute. But yeah, we started with the first year we did it, we had like 45 people in a hotel conference room. And the last year that we did it, there was 220.
Yep, a couple vendors.
Yeah, had some vendor booths, and basically just came to the realization that that was a lot of work for one day, and we could do less work every week. Little did we know that people liked it, and COVID gave us a huge boost. Of course, an excuse to not put a conference on. And it just kept growing. Bring Corey in to make it a little bit more fun. Because, Dave and I are boring.
It's debatable. To be honest, though, you wanted to start it back up in 21.
I did. We almost
You were pushing pretty hard.
we almost hosted an in-person conference. Now we just go to everybody else's.
Yes, you're right.
It's way more
so
fun.
much easier.
Yeah.
Way more fun.
Yeah.
So
No.
that's us.
So yeah, what I want to go back. Social media. I think the first time I followed you, and I don't know why I followed. I should have probably blocked.
I mean, that's the best way to go, if you're being honest.
Why is your beef with Iowa?
They just have it better than we do. And I'm tired of seeing social media corn farmers, like I mentioned in the beginning, saying, oh, poor, woe is me. I only have 45 inches of rain here instead of, 60 or whatever. And I don't know. On TikTok, I'm a little more liberal with how I post stuff versus, or not liberal in the sense of political, but just a little more
cutting that
free
out.
with it.
FarmerDan,
And
liberal.
me and a few other guys got together in the summer while we were just in the tractors all the time, and we started just making fun of Iowa. And it caught on. It was a lot of fun, honestly, because we got people upset. And that's the whole thing about TikTok. The more people get upset, the more views you get. And it got to the point where we kind of got over it, and we'll probably kick it back on this summer. But I don't know. I guess for me, I live here in Texas. It's the desert, according to some people, but it's really not. It's a beautiful place, and we get enough rain to survive and get what we want to raise. And seeing corn growers up in Iowa complain that they've only had 45 inches of rain when we're sitting here on 10 inches and trying to survive. It rubs you wrong, and that's their choice, and it's no one's fault. We're just why not in the world of social media make fun of them? So,
But everything's bigger in Texas, so I mean,
well,
His truck doesn't fit in his garage.
a truck doesn't fit in his garage.
Pretty big truck,
Exactly.
or
Yeah.
a pretty small garage.
But you're a big guy. You're like what, 6'2", 6'8", 6'4"?
7'3".
Oh, my
actually,
goodness.
believe it or not.
You might want to
Minus
update
a
your bio.
No, I'm 5'8", if you must know, and the only reason social media calls me short is back in 2019, me and old Chet Larson were standing next to each other, and Chet is probably every bit of 6'2" or so, and he's so lanky he just looks real tall. And my wife took a picture of us, and all of a sudden it was all over that. Oh, Dan is short and all. So you know what? I used to fight it, but now I'm just like, you know what? Go for it. I don't care anymore. So can't do anything about it.
I'm sure that you, just like myself, really enjoyed playing Red Rover as a kid.
Yeah, you know, it definitely did not have its benefits there.
Exactly. We'd come back, just getting clothesline. You'd call us over first because you knew we couldn't break through it. And your arms at your waist were going to hit us in our neck.
You were always shorter growing up?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're 6 foot now, aren't you?
No, I'm not 6 foot yet.
Not yet?
Not yet. Oh, I'm still growing. Okay, gotcha.
What are you, 5?
I got a nephew that says he
5.
grows in his sleep, so maybe I just need to sleep more. I'm not quite 5'11".
Nice. No. I'm 6 foot, 5'11", 3/4.
5'11", 3/4.
Yeah, it
round
is.
Up,
it literally is, and it's like
who's keeping track?
Depends on what shoes you have on. 6'1" shoes.
So what does Texas do better than Iowa?
Everything. Do you want me to go into more detail? I mean, it's just a ploy. I mean, you know, the biggest thing is just Texas has its own ego compared to any other state, and I think you know that. And I don't know. I play into it for social media. It's just fun to get people's goats.
I enjoy it.
And I don't know. For us, I guess Florida's kind of taken control on that, but we're just a gun-toting, freedom-loving state. And it's kind of cool that we have the ability to secede from this country if we do choose to. And there's just, there's a lot of good things about Texas. And, of course, we got the Alamo. Don't forget that. And, just everything. Alaska may be bigger than us, but our ego makes up for Alaska's bigness.
Do you guys know what the third biggest state is?
No, I don't.
California?
Alaska, Texas, and the 406 going to Montana.
Really?
Really?
I guess that makes sense.
Montana.
It's kind of got an ego too.
I had a pretty good guess of California, I thought, and
That's got to be up there.
I kind of forgot about Montana.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that's okay. We make fun of Nebraska. So
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, I do. I was driving through Nebraska a couple of years ago, and I really thought the only reason they have sprinklers out there is to clean the leaves off their corn every night. So, when people drive by, they say, "Oh, that's a clean cornfield right there." Pretty sure that's the only reason.
Yeah.
I like that.
They need something to complain about throughout the summer, too.
Oh, yeah.
Well, after we take a drink break, we always try to spice things up with a little game. We're going to play Would You Rather with Dan. You up for this?
It scares me knowing you guys. I mean, why not?
It's pretty clean.
Are you a coffee drinker?
I am.
Okay. Would you rather drink a warm beer or a cold coffee?
Ooh.
Oh, I don't like that at all. Probably a warm beer, to be real honest with you. I've got some German blood in me.
I think I'm there, too.
Oh, I could do an iced coffee.
I'm talking, no. We can't just do the fruity drink
No, this
or
is
whatever.
coffee sitting in the tractor.
No,
coffee that's cold.
Yeah, I would throw ice cubes in that.
What?
If you just had, if I had my coffee in my mug.
Like it ain't churched up with nothing else?
No,
like
if I didn't,
for sugar.
for some reason, why the hell didn't I finish my coffee first? But two, if I ran in and middle of the afternoon, I would grab ice cubes out of my cooler, and I would be able to drink that coffee on ice.
Why not just drink it like lukewarm?
Yuck.
Or room temperature.
Yuck. Why would you want to drink room temperature coffee? You either go warm it back up or ice it down.
At that point, you're just like, I need the caffeine. You just chug it.
Well, we obviously struck a nerve on the first one, Dan. We're off to a good start.
Yeah, keep going, man.
How about, would you rather be able to speak any language fluently or speak with animals?
I don't have an opinion on either. Probably speaking with animals would be fun, just so you can ask cattle what their reasoning is behind some of the stuff they do. But I guess I'd talk to animals.
Yeah,
Dave?
I would totally speak any language because I'd love to talk with people. So I could talk to people all over the world. So I'd rather talk with any person.
Would you rather be able to speak any language or read people's minds?
Reading people's minds is scary. I'd rather speak languages.
You ever seen that show, What Women Want?
Yeah.
The guy that I think it got bad after a while. Like he's like, all right, I'd shut it off. And if you can't do that,
With Mel Gibson?
yeah.
So you actually had a customer come into the bank, and she was talking to one of our tellers, our customer service reps, our universal bankers. You can't call them tellers anymore.
Oh, we can't.
No, I don't know. It's degrading apparently in the banking industry. That didn't know. Asked her if she had seen a movie that Sandra Bullock was in, and she'd never seen a Sandra Bullock movie. I didn't realize she hadn't acted in anything recently. As to how young our tellers were.
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't, has she?
No.
She was in a...
She was in that bird movie.
That's what it was, yeah. She was in
Bird
she was in
Box.
So if they didn't like a scary movie, they wouldn't have picked up
But
on
yeah,
that
she
one.
hasn't been on the scene like with a movie every year.
Right.
So would you rather confess to cheating on your partner or catch your partner cheating on you?
Oof.
I think I'm going to skip that one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a plead the fifth answer.
Yeah, that's not a
Yeah.
good one, and neither one is good.
Neither one is good.
I still stick by my answer. I'd rather catch somebody. I don't want to be the one that does it. I mean, it's
But
not
I
gonna.
don't
It's gonna
want
suck
my
both
loved one
ways.
to be the one to do it either.
Yeah.
That's where now I'm pleading the fifth on that one. I'm not going to answer that one. Sorry, guys.
Okay. How about?
I figured you'd plead the second.
Well, that's an obvious answer. I mean, I can plead it, but it's kind of a given.
I figured you'd be
honestly.
shooting the person that they're sleeping with. So
Well, that's the plan. Have you ever heard that joke? There's this guy. He's out hunting with his buddy, and they're out by the house, and his buddy says, "Hey, I'm looking through your window, and I can see your wife cheating with a guy." And the husband's like, "What? Really? Can you shoot him?" Oh wait, this is a pretty dirty joke, actually.
That's all right.
I don't know what y'all's deal is.
We can
Anyway,
cut it out if it's bad.
Okay. Anyway, so the husband says, "Well, shoot him in the nuts and shoot her in the face." And the guy says, "Hey, I can do that in one shot."
That's clean enough. That one's all right and funny.
That's the only dirty joke I really know. Anyway.
All right, last one. Would you rather never be able to sleep on a bed again, or never be able to take a shower?
Ooh. Well, I mean, I only take a shower every other month, so I mean that's probably the best way to go. I mean, I like my sleeping on a bed, so
Yeah.
sure, never take a shower again. It's only to the other people that it's a problem for, not me. I'm used to my smell.
Oh, your poor wife.
Yeah, that's what everybody says. I don't know why though, but that's what they always say. Oh, your poor wife. But it is what it is.
Does she farm with you? What's she do?
She really doesn't. She stays home. Really, I mean, she's more than welcome to, but I think the tractors kind of scare her a little bit, and I don't want to push her into anything she doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Was she a farm kid when you met her? When you slid into
No.
her DMs?
Yeah, I slid into her DMs. No, really, she didn't grow up on a farm. She had a lot of animals. It wasn't a ranch per se, but she knew about agriculture. And honestly, our first official date, she came up here and rode the tractor with me all day while I was planting Milo. And that sealed the deal. She saw the tractor, she saw me, and I don't think she could have ever gone back, if you ask me.
Wow.
That's a long
It
time.
was just that easy.
It was just that easy.
Did she bring you food?
Yeah, actually, I think, come to think of it, my mother, because she was staying at mom and dad's, mom made her a lunch, but she didn't make me a lunch. So, I mean, take that for what it is. It was kind of offensive to me, but, I mean, what do you do?
So wait a minute. You slid into her DMs, invited her, and then she stayed with your mom.
Yeah, at my mom and dad's house.
Stayed at
yeah.
your mom and dad's. That's like what that conversation looked like. Like, hey, you can come up, stay with my mom and dad. I'll be in the tractor, but you can hang out.
You know, I might have, come to think of it, I think she stayed at a hotel for a few times while she was up here
I got you.
to get, before she stayed at mom and dad's, because that was awkward throughout our whole entire relationship.
Uh-huh.
And so before we were married. But yeah, I think come to think of it, I think she stayed in a hotel
There you go.
for a while. And then when she got comfortable, she stayed with mom and dad. So I can't.
So if you guys had to slide into somebody's DMs, I know you're married, but let's say you did, would you rent a hotel to go visit somebody? Like, is that like long distance? Or would you just be like, that's way too far. I'm not going to take all the effort to go rent a hotel, stay in hopes that this date ends up good, et cetera, et cetera.
Are you saying we're single?
I remember dating being so much work. I'd never want to do it again.
Yeah.
That's a chore.
I always tell people I had to go 6 hours south so I could find the girl that didn't know of me. And that's kind of the truth. And so, I mean, for goodness sakes, I live in nowhere, basically. I mean, we don't even have trees around here. So if there's a girl out there worth marrying, 9 times out of 10, they're spoken for or taken or whatever. And so you just kind of have to move out and go for a further range, I guess.
And my wife and I have had that conversation of, we hope we both live forever because we don't want to have to try and go through that process again.
Would you?
Well, I for how much effort it seems like, I don't think so.
How different it would be.
I've got a landlord that's probably in his 90s by now, and his wife passed away. I don't know. Actually, no, they divorced after 53 years of being married because he wanted to move out to where we live instead of living in the city, and she was like, forget that. But anyway, now he's pretty old, and he's dating an elderly lady at the nursing home, and they're not married, but they're living together. And I don't know where the line draws. Like, do traditional people kind of throw that out the window when you're 90 years old and can't do nothing? Or, where does that line go? I don't know, and I hope I don't ever have to find out. But,
I can just imagine two old people set in their ways. I'm moving to the country. I'm staying here. Mm-hmm. Well, hell with you. I'm staying. Exactly. You go. We're just going to cut this out.
My in-laws are about that close to being there. Grandma wants to move to a condo in town, and Grandpa's like, no, this is my cattle. I'm staying here.
Yeah.
That's how that.
53 years, and that's what broke it up for them. But that's a lot of stubbornness right there.
When you talk about not doing anything, for the first, 18, 20 years of your life, it's like, don't have sex, you can't be with the other spouse, you can't be with the other sex, you can't be with the other sex. Then it's like, oh, you're engaged and everybody's happy, but still you're kind of walking that line. Then you get married, and the minute you get married, it's like, when are you going to have kids? Like, wait a minute, like 10 seconds ago it wasn't okay, and now it's like, why the heck don't you have them? And then you go like through the rest of your life, and then you're like middle-aged, and everybody's seen everything, so it doesn't matter anyway because your kids follow you around. By the time you're 90, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Probably nobody cares.
I totally get that.
Did you know that the STD rate in nursing homes is higher than any other segment of population in this country?
Wow. Fun Fact Friday.
I don't know if we can leave that in
Don't
there.
fact check me. I just made it up, but I'm pretty sure that's no.
Oh, you're so full of it.
I'm pretty sure it is.
You didn't Google it?
I tried.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, put that in your Google search
I'm
history.
Google searching it right now,
I did.
man.
Give me your phone. I need to do it on the bank's phone number.
No. No, Dice. This took such a really, really bad turn. Let's go. Let's see if we can recognize any of your restaurants. As a kid, we all had them. A restaurant that we went to that we thought was fancy. Like, that's where Mom and Dad took us for a fancy meal. And then as you get older, you realize that it's really not all that great of a place. What was that for you?
I don't know if I can answer that. There are so many of us kids, Dad probably couldn't afford to take us to a fancy restaurant, but, gosh, that's a hard question. Hold on.
Did you do like a McDonald's Friday or a Pizza Hut Wednesday? Or?
Probably Pizza Hut. Come to think of it, when I was a kid, there was this old Pizza Hut that had a clown that would make you balloon animals. And that was a creepy little dude there. But I would say Pizza Hut. That's a good point. Pizza Hut was probably it. And honestly, I still like pizza. It's that Pizza Hut from Pizza or whatever. It's good stuff.
Yeah, we hadn't had Pizza Hut in a long time. It's been almost a year ago.
Stuffed crust.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuffed crust. You have to get stuffed crust if you get Pizza Hut.
Does pineapple go on a pizza?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
No.
It can.
It should.
It can, but it doesn't belong there.
It should.
It's a different category of pizza. If I want a meat pizza, if I want to go get like the meat lovers bacon or Canadian bacon, pepperoni, sausage, no.
Right.
But Canadian bacon and pineapple.
Yeah, my favorite's
Go well.
my favorite's the Yowzer, Dan, and it's Canadian bacon, pineapple, barbecue sauce, sauerkraut.
Oh yeah, sauerkraut on pizza's good.
Yeah.
I never would have put sauerkraut with a pizza. I do like sauerkraut, but I just don't think I can do that. Neither with the pineapple either.
So I was
For
in
me-
the same boat as you, and on a snowmobile trip in northern Wisconsin, we were at this little podunk bar, and they had a Reuben pizza. If you like Reubens, so they have sauerkraut on them and everything, and it was fantastic. And ever since then, we kind of make that like at the local bar. You can kind of order your own toppings. Oh, it's so good, so good.
I'm still shocked here. So
Dave went down.
STD rates have also increased by 260% from 2008 to 2020 during that time.
in
and
nursing
that-
homes.
Well, the stimulant
50
accessibility has probably been elevated as well.
73% of respondents between 57 and 64 were recognized being sexually active in nursing homes.
Jeepers creepers.
I got to be honest. I never thought we would be talking about this on a Farm for Profit podcast.
I don't know if anybody's going to get to hear this.
I thought you guys were bankers. Oh yeah, well people use 4 except when to the bank it's actually -5 because whatever.
Have you not seen my face the whole time we've been talking about this? I'm mathematically trying to figure out how much of this show we're going to have to cut out.
Oh, come on.
Probably most of it.
Come on.
Mercy.
Oh, God, can I save
We're
this?
all adults here.
How do I save this? Yes, somebody commented the other day saying one of my favorite lines in the podcast is when Tanner says everybody poops. Like, really? That's the line out of everything?
They do.
Oh, my God.
That came after the story when you talk about that guy stepping in your dung.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's try and get this thing back on track. So you've been on other podcasts before. You've kind of done a couple of them, right?
Yeah, and at one point I even had my own podcast, but it was so much work we scrapped that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been around a little bit, and it's everyone has their story. That's what Roberta Sharkey says, and that's true. I mean, you don't have to have a tragedy, or you don't have to have some whatever story. Everyone's got their story, and everyone wants to tell it, and I think that's fine, and I get my chance to tell it. And social media is just, it's a crazy thing if you really think about it. I mean, I wonder what my great grandpa would say if he saw me with a phone walking through his barn, and he'd probably say some things that probably weren't right, but whatever. And I don't know. I enjoy it. I like talking. I like telling my story, and it's good publicity for me, I guess. I don't know,
Right.
except maybe that dirty.
Do you think
joke I
people
told.
that tell their story on social media are the ones with followers?
Somewhat, I would say. I mean, it grabs more attention, but I mean, well, and I'll say, okay, how about this? There's a lot of people out there with a lot of followers, but are the followers following them for their story, or are they following them because they have, a cool reel or a cool TikTok that went viral? Because that's what me and a buddy talk about sometimes, is we'll compare our followers on Instagram or something, and he'll say, well, Dan, most of the people, you get a lot more engagement on this where I don't. And when you really look at it and really put the numbers to it, like, what do the followers really follow you for? And that's what I've always wondered. Like, I mean, I can remember in 2018, maybe I got 3,000 followers, and I thought I was, king of the world. And, that's not to say anyone doesn't. If anyone has 3,000 followers, they're not.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it makes you wonder, like, if someone's following you, say you have 68,000, 70,000 followers or whatever, how many of those people are actually following you for your story versus, oh, that's cool, click follow, because that, and I'm getting on my soapbox for a minute, sorry, but
That's all right.
in the grand scheme of things, I mentioned in the beginning, social media doesn't matter. We're all going to die. And when it happens, no one's going to have the login to your Twitter or whatever. So you're just going to become,
We hope not.
you're nothing. And so if you can change someone's mind about something, if you can show a good example on social media, then I think that's a win. And that's kind of where I've gotten to this point. I used to look at how many followers I had every day on Instagram, and I would go into my insights. I would see how many people have unfollowed me. Like, it became addicting, and it's taken me a while to realize, what's the point? It does not matter. And I wish more people in the ag world would realize that to some extent, because it puts up a wall between bigger accounts versus smaller accounts, and that's just how it is no matter what, I guess, ag or non-ag. And I don't know, that's kind of my little soapbox for a second.
I don't ever look at how many people liked it. I always look at how many people engaged with it. So if you comment, then I'm like, oh, that must have been a successful post. If it's just a like, there could be a million people like it, but that wasn't a cool post. Like, if they'll comment on it, we can start a conversation. Those are what I consider successful posts.
I saw a post on Instagram where a guy was saying you can't go off of likes. I mean, likes are great. You know.
Everybody likes
everything. If you like the measurement of that, he said, but you will get views more than you will get likes, because some people are so self-conscious that they don't want to see. I don't want you to see me liking this post, because you're going to judge me for liking it. So I may enjoy it, consume it, and move right on by. So they're talking about, how you master an algorithm. Engagement's key, but obviously views.
That's why I think TikTok is better, because I don't think you can go and see who liked.
Oh, you can see.
Yeah, you can.
Can you?
You can.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that new?
It might.
You can't see who viewed it. Like, I think on Instagram you can see, possibly, now that I think about that, you can't see who views anything, I don't think, on any platform as far as I know, but likes you can see on most any platform.
It's crazy to think, though, so Twitter, since Elon Musk took it over, you can see the metrics on that.
Dude, that is really cool. On everybody's posts, not just
on
yours.
everybody's. But it is crazy. Like, you could put a tweet out that might have 4, 8 likes, looks like it's getting very, very bad. It's got 20,000 some impressions or whatever. It's like, what is going on? People just not hitting the like buttons or not engaging. I don't know. It's weird, but.
So as you have been on Roberta's podcast and others and done your own, what's something that we've missed? What are Jiminy Christmas? What are us as hosts missing and not asking?
Dude, I don't know. I mean, I think y'all are doing pretty well. Y'all just have a different style of podcast than I've ever actually been on. It's not like old Rob. He's got his paper of questions and he's all Mr. Prim and Proper, and y'all are here chewing down like 3 beers, And so it's just a different platform, and I think it's a great way to kind of get people comfortable, because I remember the first time I went on Rob's podcast, I was pretty nervous, because he's a big to-do in my opinion.
Still is.
I'm not. I mean, and so I don't know. I think y'all are doing pretty well, really. I mean, I've listened to some of y'all's stuff, and there's really not anything that I've ever thought, man, I wish they would have asked that. And you give the what am I called? Am I the good grief? Whoever's talking, whoever's interviewing, the guest. There we go. You give the guest time to speak, and yet you have some fun with them. I don't think Rob would be brave enough to play the game that we've played here. I don't think he would do it, just because it doesn't fit his personality. And I'm saying this, I hope he listens to this podcast, but I don't know.
He's
He
going to
probably
have a
won't, now
game
he
in
sees
his
my name
show.
on here.
Rob doesn't listen. This will be the ultimate test if Rob does listen.
If Rob listens, I want him to DM me and say, "You suck." Or something, Rob would say,
DM me and say, "You suck."
Suck it, Trebek.
The next episode is going to be with a farmer from Nebraska of Rob's, and they're going to play Would You Rather. And it's going to be, would you rather go to Iowa or Texas? And they're going to say, I plead the fifth.
I mean, I don't blame them one bit.
What was the name of your podcast you had for a little bit?
Good grief.
Oh, must have been a good one.
It's been a long time. It was back during the early stages of COVID. It was called the Texas Advocates or something like that. It was in my stage of being an advocate, which I think is stupid. And so, and I'm saying that AG advocate or whatever. but to each his own. And we started interviewing people. We made it, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, and I had the soft end because all I had to do was interview, and my buddy, he would do the editing and all, but he got busy with some other venture he had, and we just kind of let it go. And I'm glad we did, because I just don't have the time for a podcast. It's not in my schedule, I guess.
It is a lot of work, not to pound our chest, but without Tanner, it would have it would never ever have made it past the first year of the fun shows.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
I think the smartest thing we've ever done is put a team together. I mean,
You did take your own advice.
I did. Had to give that advice like 17 times before I took my own advice.
It was a lot of times.
But yeah, the fact that we have crews that help get this whole thing from start to finish is really huge for its success, and to keep the listeners writing in. It's fun. We don't do this because it's work. We do this because we enjoy what we're doing. But before we send you off, we got to ask the question that we ask every one of our guests. Doesn't have to be related to anything except for just your personal opinion. But what does
You're gonna get that.
What does success look like to FarmerDan97?
I've thought about that a little bit, and 4 or 5 years ago, I'd have told you, well, I want to farm 15,000 of acres and be the biggest farmer that ever was. But that's not the purpose of life anymore, in my opinion. To me, and y'all have mentioned it, and I'm not scared of saying I'm a Christian. I'm not the best. I've still got a lot to do to work up for it, but the Lord called us all to be stewards of the land, and you can look all over the Bible, and He says, take care of it because I will take care of you, or whatever. And to me, that's what I want to be. I want to be a steward of the land. I want to have kids. I have a beautiful wife, and live life, man. I mean, live it for His glory, but at the same time, enjoy it, because this is your only one here on this earth. And if I pick up land along the way and do reach that goal, that's great. But I'm not gonna sit here and that's all I want to think about is farming more land, because there's guys around here that do that, and you can see it taxing not only themselves but their family, and it's sad. And so, bottom line, I want to live my life to glorify my Lord in a way that I can take care of His land, steward it the best way I can. And I think every farmer, religious or not, wants to take care of the ground as best as he can, because that's his livelihood. That's the only way he makes money. And die in peace. I mean, I don't know. That's a bit morbid, but that's bottom line where I'm at. I'm 25. I've got, Lord willing, I don't know, let's say 50 years ahead of me, maybe more if I'm so blessed. And I want to do what's right. I want to provide for my family, and I want to make my dad proud, but not only my earthly father, but my heavenly father as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very good.
No,
Are you going to pop out 8 kids yourself?
I don't think she's going to let me do that. This first one's been a doozy. He had colic for like 4 months, and it definitely changed our opinion about how fun kids are. Love him to death. He's back to himself now, but it definitely was very taxing on her more than me, and that's kind of what I've alluded to a little earlier ago. I felt bad for leaving the house because I wanted to help, but I couldn't. But we'll see. 8 kids is a lot, and when you think about not everyone gets along like you would think, so there's a lot of stuff to go on in the future when it comes to land and everything else. It's scary. So. But anyway, that's it for me. I mean, and I hope that your listeners, if they're offended, great. But that's where I'm at, and that's where I stand. And I try to portray that as best I can on social media, and I try to do it in a way where it's not just shoving it down people's throats, because I don't think that's the right way to approach it. But in my opinion, you're either going to heaven or you're going to hell, and hell isn't something to laugh about. So, sorry, I didn't mean to make it all disappointing and all, but
no, I don't think anyone's going to be offended.
There's not any disappointment at all. I still go back to the comment I had made a TikTok and was stitched one of Ty the Texan's TikToks, and totally went down a dirty rabbit hole with my stitch, and you were the first person to comment, be like, "Oh, not on her TikTok."
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed in that. Because she's a nice gal. She doesn't live too far away from here, and she's a nice gal, and I just hated to see that. She's a young gal.
It was so funny. I didn't even follow her at the time. It was just one of those things like, I hear these all across my FYP, and like, I can't stop hearing this. Boom, stitch it. Immediately he goes, so I quick look at her profile. I'm like, who is this person? Is this like a nun? Is this somebody that I got to, I'm like, holy crap, what did I screw up? And I'm like, oh, she'll be okay. So I sent her, I followed her, and she followed back.
Slid into her DMs.
He slid into her DMs.
Oh, my God.
So he does.
No.
You asked a hypothetical. He does.
Right?
I have to get guests on the show. How else do we connect?
Yeah, everyone should follow us back.
TikTok kept coming up with a thing now on mine that says, we want, can everybody in your contacts on your phone?
No.
Don't do that.
No.
Well, I clicked no, and every time I'd open a post, it came up. Yeah. So I finally got annoyed with it that I finally clicked yes, and then anybody in my contacts can now message me.
China thanks you.
Yep, China thanks me.
That's the deal. That's the deal with TikTok. It's just such a disgusting app, but it's so addicting. Like and I'm not trying to say numbers to brag, but I dished up 640 a section last week, and I probably spent every bit of 10 hours of the whole, like, nearly 30 hours on that tractor scrolling through TikTok, and it made me realize how much I use. And I hate having that little statistics thing come up on your phone, like on Sunday morning it says you spent this much
Screen
time on your
time
phone this week. Doesn't that make you feel awful?
I blocked that,
and
somehow it doesn't come up anymore.
But anyway, it's just it's an addicting app, and it really feels like it was meant to be, obviously. So, but anyway, it's fun. It's got followers on it, so it's a lot of fun.
Oh, I love this. This has been fun, Dan. Finally getting connected and doing this recording. We appreciate it. Our listeners are going to appreciate it too. Obviously, it's not going to be hard for them to find you, FarmerDan97. We've only said that about 16 times, so they should be able to look you up. But no, this is much appreciated.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on y'all's show. I mean, y'all are doing great. Like, I think y'all are going to surpass Rob by like miles. I mean, I'm not even afraid to say that.
That's a smart guy.
Keep doing the good work and keep that Bush latte in the background, and you're just gonna make it. There's no way you don't.
Oh, I like this guy.
Cool.
I like him a lot. Corey, what do you say?
Well,
I say crack a Bush Light, and Dave, for $100, will you chug this maple syrup?
Ooh, that's a good TikTok.
Will you do it?
No.
Come on,
I can do
Tanner, $100.
Nope.
Come on, numbers man.
Nope.
All right, crack a Bush Light. You
it's not
deserve
fit
it.
my macros.